Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now, we are joined by Neil, Click OK, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Hello, hello, Discord enthusiasm. I love it, love it. Very good. We're actually halfway through covering a bit of Duffy final experiments, plural. So might as well carry on as we've left off. Check it out if you're a member, if you want to feel the love of what we've covered in the first 2 minutes of this video. If you are watching this live, please let Will Duffy know at the Final Experiment channel, at Nathan Oakley 1980, sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic censor bots, or indeed Will Duffy, the videographer himself. So there is a link going by, as I say, in the live stream chat as we speak. I'll just put that on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. If you are a member of the live stream audience, please go and let Will Duffy know that we have responded to his video with a polite comment that alludes to that fact. Hopefully, if Will Duffy was to cover us in any way, shape or form, he'd do the same for us and put a link to my video in his response video to this. So share the YouTube algorithmic love, pop along. I'm not saying it for my health if you are watching. I don't know how many people are joining us. We've literally only just started live. But please do actually pop along. And if you're watching on one of the members only or premiering streams, hopefully one of the moderation team will dig out this link and post it in the video when it's not live, as in the pre-recorded version, when this goes out after the fact. So yeah, please let Will Duffy know at Nathan Oakley 1980. Sent me, as I say, with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots. In the vein, hope that he would do the same for us. Anything anyone wants to add, as we have had a couple of minutes of it in the pre-show, and then I just went live. So does anybody want to add anything before we carry on?
Yes, I do. He's not gonna help you at all, Will Duffy. He's trying to destroy you. So why leave a nice comment and hope that he will help out in some capacity? He's a lying sack of crap.
It's not necessarily me directing it to Will Duffy. It's hard to explain this, but I'll try. Let's say you were watching this show now. So you happen to be Man Loves World YouTube channel. I've just made that up. There's no such channel as far as I'm aware. There probably is, but it's not. I've just attempted to make up a channel name, right? So Man Loves World happens to be watching Flat Earth Debate today. And he happens to have 50,000 subscribers and doesn't cover Flat Earth. He covers self-introspection or philosophy or something like that. I don't know, whatever. And he's watching the show and he sees that I have shared the YouTube algorithmic love with Will Duffy. That is to say, I've put his link and I've directed him, specifically him, the audience member I'm pretending exists, that's got a Man Loves World YouTube channel name. He goes, oh, okay. So Nathan has shared Will Duffy's link, helping the YouTube algorithm favour that videographer as he responds to his video. Good for him. Now, it might not be the case that, although I'm suggesting that Will Duffy does the same for me, it imprints that idea, that notion, onto that videographer who happens to be watching this critique. Now, when that videographer says, I am actually going to critique what Nathan has said in this video, and, yeah, I should really put a link to his video, only seems reasonable. So it isn't necessarily a direct appeal to Will Duffy to do this. It's an appeal to anybody who's watching that might respond in future. Make sense?
10-4. Continue.
The final experiments are meant to be taken collectively, just like
Final experiments. So what's final about them again?
evidence in a court of law.
So science isn't a court of law, you clown. A court of law is a court of law. Yeah? Where we have beyond reasonable doubt. Yeah? Things like that. This isn't a question that has any doubt. We measure Earth flat. You measure Earth flat. Toon measured Earth flat. I told him for the 100th time. Literally, whilst in Antarctica, contacting me proactively. He stood with 50% of the other globe-believing side, if you're considered neutral in this endeavour, Duffy. He told 50% of the other globe-believing participants that I, Nathan Oakley, who had been screaming my name into the Antarctic snow, I might add, tried to deflect with measurements, end quote. What measurements would they be? They'd be the elevation angle measurements took by all. Now, another claim to be experiment that was done by the bug-eyed idiot that was down there was to level a scale with respect to a horizontal plane so he could measure a downward orientation perpendicular to it, requiring unequivocally a horizontal plane of reference to be levelled to. So, we've got two claim to be experiments that absolutely without question are not experiments and unequivocally require you measure Earth flat for them. Now, when I point this out to Toon while he's there doing it, he screamed about guns or some shit. That's what he did. He also told, as I say, the other 50% of the globe-believing participants that I tried to deflect with measurements. Maybe you can address that, Duffy.
Undoubtedly, flat earthers will attempt
stereotyping fallacy to follow. Duffy measured Earth flat. Toon measured Earth flat. Jeren measured Earth flat. McKeegan measured Earth flat. Bug-Eye measured Earth flat. These are statements of fact. I don't need to stereotype this scumbag, do I? I just talk about the measurements they took. Like when Toon phoned me up from Antarctica. You'd have heard my name being screamed there, Duffy. Do you remember? Remember my name being yelled into the Antarctic snow? Yeah? He tried to deflect with measurements! You don't recall that? Yeah?
to discredit individual experiments we did, while at
discredit them? Au contraire, Duffy! No, I wholeheartedly endorse the elevation angle measurement to the sun, the levelling of a tool with respect to a plane of reference. I mean, I endorse these things. Why stereotype me when I fully endorse every measurement taken? Because every measurement of Earth taken in Antarctica was of a flat Earth. There were no exceptions to that fact. None. Earth was only measured flat in Antarctica. A fact so devastating that it got my name screamed into the Antarctic snow. Where are the guns, Nathan? I don't know, maybe they're with the Antarctic elevation angle measurements. Who knows? Will we ever find out? Who knows? We definitely measured Earth flat down there, though. We'll say we. I'll collectively tar myself with your brush. Oh, no, I'm every bit the ball believer when I take the measurements that you take for the ball that you say you've measured. They were flat Earth measurements. I mean, I can't really say I'm a ball believer. I mean, I could. I could lie like you lie. But we measured Earth flat in Antarctica. Didn't we, Duffy? Or do you deny the levelling to a plane of reference or elevation angle measurements with respect to a horizontal plane the observer was standing on when they measured them? Do you deny those measurements that you took down there and called experiments? Now that they're flat Earth measurements, are they no longer measuring the Earth?
at the same time ignoring the rest.
Ignoring the rest of what? Did I ignore the measurement of a perpendicular weight with respect to a plane of reference? Did I ignore that? I'm pretty sure I immediately responded to it live while it was happening. You know what I said while it was happening live, Duffy? I said he's measuring Earth flat, like I just did 25 seconds ago. Same to Antarctica participant number 2. That would be Mucktoon, who told me on the phone he was measuring Earth flat for the 100th time. I mean, he tried to deflect with guns or something, while I tried to talk about the measurements that you were taking.
If they cannot provide an accurate map of the world...
Sorry, I'm not a cartographer. Why would I be providing maps? I sell microphones. So I can talk down them about how Earth's measured flat in Antarctica by you guys. I just take the measurements that you guys used. Is that okay by you, Duffy? No map required. I'm not a cartographer. I'm not suggesting to have a map. The map that you provided to strawman us with a globe projection that also utilised flat Earth elevation angle measurements. Earth was measured flat for your map. Both of them. The globe one isn't a map. It is utilised to project that azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection that you held up as a strawman flat Earth map. That you're now saying if we haven't got one, what? Earth isn't flat. Why did you measure it flat then with elevation angles if it isn't flat?
And a working model that can account for the results of all of these final experiments collectively.
You didn't do any experiments. You took quite a few flat Earth elevation angle measurements, though. I mean, I don't really need to account for anything. I just say you measured Earth flat and that's kind of the end of the discussion. Because you did. Now, you've got two choices, Duffy. You can deny your own quasi-claim to be experiments when I point out that the measurements, they're not experiments, were flat. Like elevation angle measurements that, what, I tried to deflect with? Maybe your stereotype fails on its arse, you lying scumbag. Yeah, the devil's waiting for you.
That is because we do not live on a flat Earth.
Why did you measure it flat then? Why did you level the tool for measuring weight with respect to a plane of reference the weight is perpendicular to in a downward orientation? You need a flat Earth for that, that's a fact. Not a question, not a debate, a statement of absolute fact, an axiomatic principle used to weigh things. So when you weighed something and called it experiment, you friggin' charlatan, you just weighed something with respect to a plane of reference that you were perpendicular with respect to. These axiomatic principles required Earth be flat. Also, when you measured the elevation angle of the sun for a 24-hour period, that was the degree above the flat surface. It can't be anything other of the flat surface that's measured. It won't give you a degree. So all those numbers with a little circle after, that Toon measured, degrees, they were and can only be flat Earth measurements, Duffy. So I really don't have to provide any map or model, and I don't have to explain any quasi-experiments beyond the actual flat Earth that was measured when doing them. I can also point out that you bunch of charlatans call measurements experiments, and when I point out that those measurements are flat, you start denying that you're measuring Earth. That's what happens. So do you do that, Duffy? That's what I've had in the past from other shithead charlatans like yourself. Do you deny measuring Earth flat with elevation angles, Duffy? Do you deny the plane of reference that the weight was perpendicular to? Because if you deny them, you haven't got any experiments, because they're the base principles used in your charlatan lies of experimentation. They're just flat Earth measurements that a charlatan, you, are claiming are experiments. They're not. And for my audience's benefit, I'll detail what an experiment is. It's the elucidation of a hypothesis, the actualization of cause and effect suppositional reasoning based on natural phenomena observed. So step 1, observe natural phenomena. Step 2, formulate a suppositional statement, if and then in nature. Step 3, actualize your if and then statement to see if it's true or not. If it is not true, you affirm or confirm the null hypothesis zero difference result as correct. Empirically validated. If you cause the effect observed at step 1, you also validate an alternative hypothesis. Correct. Empirically validated. Both outcomes are an empirical validation. That's what science offers. That's the scientific method. What did Duffy do? Oh, he referenced a plane for his measuring tool to weigh things. He also measured angles with respect to a planar surface. That's what he did. He measured Earth flat on multiple occasions and then said Earth can't be flat if you haven't got a map. Really? Well, my question stands. If Earth is, quote, not flat, says Duffy the dickhead, why did you measure it flat?
If they try to say these experiments...
They're not. They're measurements. Elevation angle measurement of the sun for a 24-hour period. That's not an experiment, you crayon-munching retard.
...are not actual experiments.
They're not. You haven't observed a phenomena and then put into a suppositional cause and effect relationship statement, otherwise known as a scientific prediction hypothesis, and then actualize said hypothesis to see if your suppositional causal influencer actually causes the effect you're studying. You didn't do any of that.
but only observations.
No. Measurements of a flat Earth. You didn't just observe the sun. I mean, that would be pretty useless. Tune wave measurements in people's faces. Measurements of a flat Earth. My name is Nathan Oakley. You've heard my name before, Duffy. It was screamed into the Antarctic abyss. Where are the guns, Nathan? Did you not hear him? Yeah?
That is because they cannot reconcile our findings.
Reconcile? There's nothing to reconcile. You measured Earth flat. It's the end of the discussion. Shout out to Jardo for gifting 10 memberships. Really appreciate the support.
With a flat Earth. If they say that...
No. You can only put your data forward if you understand and acknowledge you measured Earth flat, Duffy. I'm asking you. If you say it isn't flat, why did you measure it flat with elevation angles? Why did you level your tool with respect to a plane of reference to be perpendicular to it? Now, if you're saying Earth isn't flat, are you throwing out those axiomatic principles used in your measurements? Because they are the measurements. The elevation angle to the sun for a 24-hour period was what got measured after levelling the tool used to gather that data to a plane of reference perpendicular to it. When you measured things, you measured their downward orientation differential with respect to a perpendicular plane of reference that you levelled the tool to in the first instance. It's the first thing you did. Levelled the tool. Now you're saying, oh, well, no, there is no level. We're on a ball. Okay. So you didn't measure an elevation angle along a ground that's flat. You're saying you didn't do that. Okay. So you didn't take any angle measurements to the sun then. So what did you do? Just observations, wanker? The thing that you're now trying to tar flat earthers as suggesting that you did when you say you did experiments that you didn't. Now, I'm not suggesting you just did experiments or observations by contrast that you're trying to strawman me with. No, my name's Nathan Oakley, the one that got his name, the only flat earth name yelled by a baller into the Antarctic snow. I say you measured Earth flat with elevation angle measurements because you did. It's not the first time I've said it. It's the 100th. So what's the problem? Are you dense? Are you as stupid as Toon? He didn't seem to understand in, 100 times of having it explained to him? You're measuring Earth flat. Now, it's not like he responded to me, and it's not like I'm contacting him proactively to tell him this. You're proactively going to Antarctica to measure a flat Earth with angles. That's what you're doing. Then you're contacting me proactively about it to say, ha, we measured Earth flat with angles, Nathan, what have you got to say? And my response, well, for the 100th time, you're measuring Earth flat with elevation angles. Where are the guns? You see how the response is non sequitur, Duffy? Like, where are the guns, Nathan, doesn't address the flat Earth elevation angles that you measured there.
Flat Earth does not make predictions.
That's because that's a reification fallacy. A flat Earth has no lips or brain to make predictions with. Predictions would be a necessity in formulating hypotheses, though. If you're going to formulate a cause and effect relationship suppositional statement, that's a scientific prediction, otherwise known as hypothesis, then you're going to be guessing what caused the thing you're studying to see if it does when you actually vary it to see if it causes it or not.
That is because making accurate and testable predictions...
I predicted you'd measure Earth flat, and my prediction came true.
Based on a flat Earth is...
Yeah, based on a flat Earth, you'll measure a flat Earth angle, and you did. Lots of them.
Impossible.
Right, what? So, are the flat Earth elevation angles measured by you, Keegan, Jaron, Toon? Are they not right? Should we shove that shit to the side now that you're saying you don't measure Earth flat with those elevation angle measurements of a flat Earth? You don't use them. Oh, well, that balls up your entire claim to be experiment then, because you're saying that you're not measuring a flat Earth for the elevation angle of a flat Earth that you definitely measured. Like I say, I've pointed this out 100 times while you were all there. Yeah? I'll just say it again. You're measuring Earth flat too. Where are the guns, Nathan? Yeah, that was the non sequitur response I got. Please let Duffy know. We'll count this as what? 101? I predicted you'd measure Earth flat and you did, Duffy. It sent one of your participants nuts.
Because a flat Earth does not exist.
So why did you measure it with elevation angles? Why did you level your tool for weight with respect to it then? Am I missing something? If it doesn't exist, neither do your measurements, because they're measuring a flat Earth. Are you a retard? So you relinquish all of your claim to be experiment then? You didn't measure any angles to the sun for a 24-hour period. That didn't happen. Okay? They didn't do any experiments. He's a liar. Oh, you did? What, measure a flat Earth with elevation angles? Which is it to be, the rock or the hard place? You did measure a flat Earth with elevation angle measurements to the sun for 24 hours. Therefore, Earth's flat because you're measuring it. Or you didn't. It doesn't exist. We didn't measure it for 24 hours with the angles to the sun off a flat Earth. You didn't measure those angles. Therefore, your experiment didn't exist. See how you're caught between a rock and a hard place? Me, I don't care either way, Duffy. I literally couldn't be more relaxed. I'll go on camera just to show you. I couldn't be more relaxed about this, Duffy. It makes no difference to me. Same goes if you're in a tent to tellies. If you're pretending to be Antarctica. You allege to be in Antarctica. All right. Well, then they measured a flat Earth with respect to the sun on the TVs that they looked at, because they weren't actually in Antarctica. Say you. All right, that's interesting. I don't care. They still measured Earth flat, though, even if it was to tellies that wasn't the real sun. What's that? They definitely were in Antarctica. They measured Earth flat with the real sun that they alleged to see in Antarctica. Whether or not they went there is inconsequential. Both measurements to tellies or to the real sun in Antarctica, they're both flat Earth measurements. It's an elevation angle. Couldn't be more relaxed about it. I'm not making proactive videos about Duffy. This is reactionary, by the way. Yeah?
You cannot make and test predictions based on something that is not real.
Okay. I mean, I'll take that in isolation. Fair enough. Yeah, that's a statement of truth. So therefore, you can only make measurements if it is real. Yeah, you did definitely measure elevation angles off a flat plane. Like I say, I pointed it out 200 times. Maybe you weren't aware when my name was being screamed into the Antarctic snow. That was why my name was being screamed into the Antarctic snow. Because I, quote, tried to deflect with the measurements.
Maps of the globe exist.
Show one. And then show how south works on that map of the globe, end quote you. Can we put a compass on that map of a globe? I'm going to go with no. I'm pretty sure we're going to need a flat map for a compass to work on it. You seem to have used the term south repeatedly. So if we're going to take the directionality that you've alleged to use, and it's on a globe map? What's the name of this globe map? That definitely won't function with a compass to go south. Maybe I'm just missing something, but Duffy's a bullshitter. A charlatan, a con man. He's not going to name this, quote, globe map, because there isn't one. And if there was, it wouldn't function. It wouldn't work with south. A flat, plain R direction, not down.
Because the globe exists.
Sorry, because the globe exists, there's a globe map that works. Circular reasoning much? No, the globe doesn't exist beyond the reification of a model created with flat Earth elevation angle measurements. Same ones you measured down in Antarctica and are now denying? From what I can glean, you're denying the base premise of your, quote, experiment that it isn't, because you're saying you didn't measure a flat Earth for the elevation angle measurements, that you definitely did measure a flat Earth for.
The entire globe model exists.
Does it? Oh, that's lovely. It was made using measurements of a flat plane, though.
Because the globe exists.
Sorry, circular much. The globe exists because the globe exists. No, it exists because you can measure flat Earth elevation angle measurements to things like Polaris, and then wrap those concentric flat circles around a spherical model. That's how it exists. I mean, I can concisely detail it without circular reasoning. I can detail how it actually exists in non-reifiable mathematics, derived from actual measurements of the surface of the Earth. The same measurements that he made of a flat Earth. The same measurements I pointed out to one of his compadres down there 100 times. And the same measurements that he told 50% of the globe-believing participants I tried to deflect with.
Countless globe predictions come true every single day.
No, there are no globe predictions to come true. And if they did, I would ascribe them to the flat Earth elevation angle measurements that created the globe. Any victory that the globe takes ever, Duffy, will be ascribed to the measurements of Earth that created the globe in the first instance. Those would be flat Earth angle measurements to stars. So you say the globe wins? Well, that's a win for flat Earth then. Unless you want to deny the flat Earth elevation angle measurements that created the globe, like you've denied the flat Earth that you measured in Antarctica. An essential part of your quasi-lie that it's an experiment, actually just a flat Earth measurement. The one I pointed out 100 times to one of the participants, and he told 50% of the other globe-believing participants I tried to deflect with. Those measurements of a flat Earth that you'll need to make the globe to suggest it's winning.
And countless future globe predictions will continue to happen exactly as predicted because the globe exists.
And is based on flat Earth elevation angle measurements of stars, therefore ultimately meaning we have a flat Earth victory in all instances. See this on screen? This is the equatorial plane that projects the celestial hemisphere I detailed earlier that Duffy was going on about. And I suggested that you'd have to measure the angle from within the globe. Unfortunately, my Hangout prompts are moving when I put the mouse on screen, so I won't. But you can see that the angles are projected from within this plane, through a globe, to points on a celestial sphere that was originally made with flat Earth elevation angles to create it in the first place. So if you want to say that the globe wins with its predictive capabilities as a model, then that win comes from an origin of a flat plane measurement, Duffy. So you can say you win, but I'll do what I did to your participants, McToon specifically, and point out that in order for you to claim your experiment is some sort of victory, look, Nathan, we've got the sun measured above a flat plane for 24 hours with elevation angles. Well, how wonderful. That'll be the 100th time I've pointed out to you, Toon, that you've measured Earth flat with those elevation angles. What's that? You want to know where the guns are? The guns? What's that? You're going to put the phone down on me and tell McKeegan that I've tried to deflect with measurements? Really? Maybe Toon will do better next time he's in Antarctica measuring a flat Earth. But in the meantime, maybe you can help me out here, Duffy. Because I got the phone put down on me when I was proactively contacted by half your participants. They were filming themselves while they screamed my name into the Antarctic snow with frustration over the elevation angle measurements that you absolutely measured down there, but now seem to be denying.
If a flat earther tells you that there is no accurate flat Earth map...
Sorry, there is no flat Earth accurate map because they're all globe projections, distorting things. Like the azimuthal equidistant North Pole globe projection is a globe projection. It's not a flat Earth map. Now, the fact that you've strawmanned us saying that it's a globe map when I've spent 5 years telling every shill that's cooperated with you that that's not our map and stop claiming it, I mean, that goes by the wayside. I'm the only one getting my name screamed into the Antarctic snow. But apparently the words of Jaren the shill, who apparently has held this map up as a true model of the flat Earth for the last 5 years, no, he debunked it alongside me and then conveniently forgot about it. Did you not know that? Of course you did.
And there is no working flat Earth model.
So what? Plenty of flat Earth measurements that work, though, like the ones you took. I'll just rely on those. No, I don't rely on any map. I rely on your measurements. The ones that if you say aren't from a flat Earth, then you don't have any measurements anymore. Like, at all. I mean, you're calling them experiments. But you don't have them if they're not off a flat Earth. What's that, they're not of Earth? Well, they're not Earth measurements then. What are you going to do, claim Earth's a sphere with them?
And that they don't make predictions?
I predict 99 times that Toon will measure Earth flat in Antarctica. I was right. What do you know? He proactively contacted me to tell me just how right I was. Then screamed my name into the snow, Duffy. You would have probably heard him. Definitely.
That is an implicit admission that a flat Earth does not exist.
Well, then why was it being measured? Am I missing something? If I'm admitting that Earth isn't flat, why are you measuring it flat? Why is Toon measuring it flat and then screaming about guns? I mean, maybe I'm missing something. Fill me in. If it's not flat, stop measuring it flat, you stupid dickhead.
Because you can map things that exist. You can model things that exist.
Okay, if you're watching this, go and get a map. Any map, the closest map to you, and then tell me if it's globe-shaped. Tell me which direction on the map south or north or east or west is, and then tell me if it's pointing down in any way, shape or form. Tell me about the distances that you'll accurately measure on the map. Are those distances curving? Or are linear miles and kilometres the only thing we ever use in conjunction with the flat maps? So I'm going to say without exception that Ordnance Survey maps, as an example, by extension Google, who also use OS maps, are flat because they're flat. And when they're functionally utilised, they're utilised with flat Earth prerequisites like linear miles and kilometres, and flat Earth prerequisites like directionality south, you mention? That'll be flat on a map. Any map, all maps, without exception.
And you can make very specific predictions that come true.
I predict that if I travel in that direction, let's call it south, on this map, that if I travel in a straight line at a given speed, I'll arrive at a given time, because I can calculate how fast in miles per hour I can travel in a linear distance on a flat map. Yeah, I can make those predictions based on flat Earth linear measurements of linear miles with odometers. People do it all day. In fact, if you've got a car with an odometer, you are, fact, measuring Earth flat with that odometer every time you get behind the wheel. What say you, Duffy? Are you saying miles aren't flat? I'm going to go with, yeah, they absolutely are, and so are the maps. So there aren't any globe maps, and any measurement on any map will require Earth be flat. Or the measurements won't be accurate because they won't be linear anymore. So we're going to need a flat Earth to map anything or travel or measure anything with respect to a map, Duffy. Okay?
Based on something that actually exists and is testable.
Okay, miles. There you go. Job's a good one. Earth proven flat with something that's testable, measurable, repeatable. All the bullshit words they like to infer make science. Yeah, we can definitely measure miles. They're linear and flat in all examples for everyone, without exception. I've just proven we've measured Earth flat, Duffy. So do you. You got an odometer? Can you drive, clown?
Created the final experiment to give both sides, flat Earth and globe, an equal opportunity to prove their side.
Oh, that's so kind of you. And you went out and measured Earth flat? Yeah? I told Toon about it. He'd already measured it flat, and I'd already pointed it out to him 99 times. So it's nice that you gave us an equal opportunity, and then you made a nice go of it with your flat Earth measurements. What's that? You think you won? You think you proved the globe? Oh no, what actually happened is you went on to do the Lone Rangers final experiments. So not empirical. Need another one. No, you empirically measured a flat Earth. That's what you did, Duffy.
Nathan.
Only the globe side.
Yes.
Not one flat earther needed to go on that expedition. They proved Earth was flat themselves.
Yeah, just measure a mile. You're proving Earth's flat. Oh, what's that? You want to see if it's flat with respect to Earth being a sphere? Oh, no worries. You can do that too. Let's just show you how you can do that. Let's have a look at this. What's this? Oh, this is Earth curve maths. This is where Duffy gets the misapprehension that if you deny Earth is flat, you can suggest that you've got a spherical surface for linear miles, flat Earth elevation angle measurements, weight, perpendicular to a plane of reference, all the flat Earth measurements that he called experiments down in Antarctica. Yeah? Meanwhile, the calculation that suggests we have an Earth curve, or sphericity to the surface, requires this. Can you all see what I'm pointing at? It says surface level. It's what we measure our height of eye above. And when we calculate a dip angle, the surface level will be parallel with eye level. So we need our eye level to be parallel with the surface level for this maths that implies that there's a marked with an X labelled horizon below the surface level called Earth curve when we see the side of our own head in an orthographic mathematics. So we see our Earth curve at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height measured off a flat Earth. What do you know? Even when you're suggesting we've got Earth curve, we have to measure surface level. A flat Earth. What's that? It bends? Oh, no, definitely not. Because the maths requires surface level be flat, so you can have eye level parallel with it. Do you understand that parallel things aren't bending? Because this surface level isn't bending, it's parallel with eye level, so that mathematically we can see the side of our own head and infer Earth curve below surface level that we just measured. Flat. For our height above it. And our parallel flat. Eye level. Parallel with the surface level we just measured. But all this calculating stuff to do with Earth, that can come after we measure surface level. Like Duffy measured surface level for the angles to the sun. Like Duffy measured surface level for perpendicular weight. Like Duffy travelled south on a plane. How far did you travel? Well, we'll only know if Earth's flat because the measurement is linear. How did he get there? Well, he flew in straight and level flight, measured with black box data that Duffy had pointed out to him by a flat earther named Brian. Measured life and death data, studying if people die, that says Earth's measured flat, with surface level and parallel flight level. So we know Earth's measured flat. Duffy here measures it flat, and so does everybody on his charlatan trip to Antarctica, allegedly. Maybe it was inside tellies, it doesn't matter. They'd still be measuring Earth flat, axiomatically, even if they're in a tent of tellies with their flat Earth, CGI, top of his game buddy that was there with them. I mean, no one's heard of that flat earther that was there. He's apparently top of his game with CGI. But there we go. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Who cares? They were measuring Earth flat with elevation angles in a telly. They were measuring Earth flat with elevation angles in a southward flat direction after travelling straight and level in a flight that we can prove it with flight data over the surface level that they'd need to measure flat to infer that they've got some sphericity to prove with elevation angles of a flat surface when they're there. Yeah? We all clear how flat Earth must be for this twat Duffy? I hope so.
Returned with evidence supporting their position.
Yeah, you did. You came back with elevation angles and then waved them in Brian's face. Did you not see that? Maybe if you just ignore the flat Earth prerequisite elevation angle measurements and perpendicular planes of reference that you weighed things with respect to, maybe you just ignore all these flat Earth measurements. The globe's a globe, so it's a globe because it's a globe, and if it's a globe, right, Duffy?
The globe side returned with tons of concrete evidence.
Yeah. yeah. Elevation angle measurements to the sun for 24 hours, proving Earth was measured flat. By all of you. Without exception.
That both accurately matches the globe model.
The globe model that came from flat Earth elevation angle measurements from within the globe. No, definitely not. You can't match a globe model because you can't stand inside the equatorial plane inside the globe to have any of the angle measurements to the sun match the equatorial plane that the globe model is derived from. You weren't inside a globe model. Not on, just so we're all clear, so the audience is clear. We're not talking about ever being on a globe model. In a globe model on an equatorial plane for the angle measurements to the lights. You know, same angle measurements that I pointed out to 200 times. Yeah? Where are the guns, Nathan?
And also falsifies flat Earth.
Does it? No, you affirmed it with the measurements. If you falsified it, then all the measurements that you took are void. So which is it? Did you falsify the flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the sun that you provided us with? Which is it, dickhead? Rock or hard place? Either you deny the flat Earth elevation angle measurements you're claiming are experiments, or you get on your knees and acknowledge how flat Earth was when you measured it flat.
This brings us to the distance between meridians.
But distances are linear. If you're going to measure them, they'll be in miles or kilometres, and you will require a flat plane.
Specifically,
Don't falsify
southern meridians.
measurements, you affirm them. What is wrong with this guy?
He's been in a lot of pain. He's measured a flat Earth repeatedly, and now he needs to deny the flat Earth measurements that he's made that he said were experiments. Idiot.
Meridians, which confirm that the Earth measures curved.
How did it measure curved exactly? Because the only measurements I saw were flat Earth elevation angle measurements of the sun.
Meridians, more commonly known as lines of longitude, are imaginary lines that...
So they're imaginary. Okay. Everyone, grab yourself a pen. Meridians, imaginary. Okay. So you didn't measure them then?
run north and south on the...
Sorry, north and south. Go and grab yourself a map, ladies and gentlemen. It's really easy to just prove how stupid and idiotic Duffy is. Go and get a compass. Yeah, the thing that measures directionality in respect to north and south. And slap it on a globe. Does it point south? Is that south? South is that way, you stupid retard. What you've just described is south being down. No. Axiomatically, you don't get to use south, you utter retard. Go and buy yourself a compass, Duffy. Yeah, you're telling an audience of people that you can teeter-totter a compass on a ball and call south the bottom of the ball? No, you're a retard, Duffy. You seem to have mental incapacities if you think that this on screen will in any way function with a compass.
Earth from pole to pole.
No. Obviously, Duffy has never used a compass before. Have you ever used a compass, retard? Hello? Go and buy a basic compass, you stupid clown.
And these lines of longitude
don't work with a compass on a globe.
Represent one of the most significant differences between the globe and a flat Earth.
How interesting. Meanwhile, you've measured Earth flat in Antarctica. This imaginary description had sod all to do with what you measured in Antarctica and called experiments. What you measured in Antarctica and called experiments were flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the sun for a 24-hour period. That's what you did.
As I already mentioned, on the globe, everything south of the equator...
You don't have south on a globe, you utter retard. Is it just me, or is this spastic? Inaccurately describing how frigging compass works. If you're watching this man, know this. He doesn't know how a compass works. He doesn't understand the basic principles of a compass.
Gets closer and closer together, eventually coming to a single geographic point, the South Pole. But on a flat Earth, everything south of the equator extends into...
So this is not a flat Earth map. This is an azimuthal, equidistant, North Pole-centric globe projection, and the globe projection utilises a latitude and longitude grid that requires Earth be measured with Polaris as a flat plane for the basis of this map. It's a globe projection derived from flat Earth elevation angle measurements to Polaris. So what's Duffy actually doing here? He's burning a straw man, saying that this globe projection fails. Okay, your globe projection fails. No worries. Can we rely on the measurements you took down in Antarctica and called experiments instead of this straw man you're burning? Yeah, I'll rely on the measurements you took, because they proved you measured Earth flat, Duffy. Don't need anything else. Your straw man failed the first time. It failed when we made it fail, when we tested it 10 years ago.
To a larger and larger area indefinitely. Here, flat earther Eric Dubay correctly assert what lines of longitude would do if we live on a globe versus a flat Earth.
If the Earth were a globe, lines of longitude would bubble out at the equator while converging at the poles, whereas if Earth is an extended plane, lines of longitude should simply expand straight outwards from the North Pole.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I've watched enough of Eric Dubay for long enough to know that this video is from about 8 years ago and is in reading Rowbotham. This is directly reading from Rowbotham's book. isn't it? When you
Absolutely.
say Eric Dubay says this, you mean Eric Dubay read it from someone else's book, which he will have said on this video. He'd have pointed out where he got the source information from. Misrepresentation by charlatans and scumbags who measure Earth flat and then say it can't be flat.
So which is actually the case?
And that is the question. Which is actually the case?
Is it? Sounds like a false dichotomy to me. I mean, I'm not really into any of these questions. I don't care. I know we measure Earth flat. You measured it. So thanks. You measured Earth flat for us, Duffy. Well done. No questions needed. What's that? You've still got questions? You still got more experiments? Well, then go and gather up some Lone Rangers.
Do lines of longitude get closer together south?
Who cares? You measured Earth flat, Duffy. I just need to know, do you deny those flat Earth measurements you took? Like, every time I pointed them out to your compadre who's down there, he started screaming my name and saying I was deflecting with measurements and stuff. Are you going to be an abject coward like Toon? Like, I just want to know. Are you actually going to address what Toon could not? Are you going to scream my name into the Antarctic snow when you revisit there to do some more experiments? Or are you going to address the flat Earth elevation angle measurements you all took in Antarctica? Because I'm not relying on false dichotomies or maps or models. I'm relying on your measurements of a flat Earth you took. Now, you can deny them if you like, and say, I don't accept that these are flat Earth measurements I've made in my experiment, that it isn't. You can do that. You can deny everything you measured down in Antarctica. Down being south by a compass. Yeah, retard.
South of the equator, eventually converging at a geographic South Pole? Or do they die?
South will never be down. So if you want to stack up this false dichotomy, will South ever be down? No. So if this is the false dichotomy that you want to stand by, you want to die on this hill, do you, dickhead? Okay. So the false dichotomy, according to this dickhead, is if we get converging point south, South is never ever down. South's that way. Okay. So your false dichotomy seems to have fallen on the side of the azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection. That's still not a flat Earth map. Still needs flat Earth angles to the stars, though, doesn't it? Yeah, Polaris specifically? Yeah, we're still measuring Earth flat. You're measuring Earth flat. Toon measures Earth flat. We all measure Earth flat, Duffy.
Diverge from one another, constantly increasing the distance between them as you head further south.
South's flat. So if we're heading south, we're heading in a flat direction. So that's it. So if your false dichotomy is involving whether or not we'll travel south, flat wins. Look at a compass, you stupid dick.
Now I need to mention something very important throughout this video, and that is what's known as the burden of proof.
There's no burden here. There's no claim to support. There's only the measurements. I'm not making a positive assertion that needs to be backed by evidence when I say Earth's measured flat. That's not a contentious statement. It's an axiomatic principle you are using. Now, you can deny the axiomatic principle of a flat Earth to measure elevation angles with respect to the sun. You can deny that if you like. That'd make you an idiot. It would also mean that you denied every aspect of your claim to be experiments that they're not. If you deny the flat Earth that you measured for them.
When someone makes a positive claim...
Not a positive claim. You measured Earth flat. That's a statement of fact, not a positive claim. I'm not suggesting that you measured Earth flat. I pointed it out 100 times. It's not me making a claim when I say, Toon, you measured Earth flat. 100 times.
The burden of proof lies with them to give evidence of and attempt to prove their positive claim.
Oh, really? Why did you go to Antarctica then? I see. So it's on us. But you spent hundreds of thousands of pounds because the burden was on us, was it? It sounds like you're mentally retarded then. If the burden's on us, get on with your day. Don't worry about it. Don't spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to Antarctica to measure elevation angles off a flat Earth to then say Earth ain't flat. That seems really stupid to me. If it's my burden... Oh, really? It's my burden? Okay. I'll rely on the measurements that you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on then. if it's my burden. That's my standard. Your measurements, I'll rely on them. What's that, you want to deny them now? Okay. You deny your experimental flat earth measurements then, no worries. You just pick which one you want, rock or a hard place, I don't mind which.
That's what I said. We didn't have to go anywhere. They did it all by themselves.
But the burden's on me, Neil. I needed to go. Why did you spend hundreds of thousands of pounds then, you complete retard? Just so you could have your participants screaming my name into the snow. I was there in spirit. At least my name was, wasn't it? Verbally. Echoing around the Antarctic Peninsula. Yeah? Did you hear it? Did my name echo, Duffy? Answers on a postcard.
If you make any positive claims, you have the burden of proof, right? If you say the Earth is flat, yeah, you have a burden of proof.
Okay. Prove you're in Antarctica. You say you're in Antarctica. People say you're in tellies. I don't care either way. I say you all measured Earth flat with elevation angles. When I put it to one of the participants, he started screaming my name and saying that I tried to deflect with those measurements I pointed out. He didn't say the burden was on me. He didn't say my evidentiary standard was incorrect. He said, quote, he tried to deflect with measurements. Earth's measured flat, ladies and gentlemen. They all know it.
Proof for that, absolutely.
Austin is correct here. When a flat earther claims the Earth is flat, that is a positive claim.
I see. Okay. What if I say you measured Earth flat for your quasi-experiment that it isn't? Is that a positive claim? Okay, tell me I'm wrong. Say I didn't measure elevation angles to the sun for 24 hours to say Earth's a sphere with it. Go on. I dare you deny the flat Earth axiomatic measurements you took. Because then you've got nothing, Duffy, literally nothing. If you don't have the elevation angle measurements of a flat Earth you measured, you don't have anything whatsoever to make your spurious claim of experimentation. Without your flat Earth measurements, you've got nothing, dickhead.
And so the burden of proof means they need to provide evidence that...
Okay, no worries. I'll give you your measurements that you took. You don't like those? Maybe take Toon's. You don't like Toon's flat Earth measurements? Take McKeegan's. I don't mind which you use. Any of them. I don't mind. Any of them. Oh, you don't like the elevation angles at all? Okay, what about a reference to a plane when you're perpendicular way stuff? You've got to be perpendicular to a plane of reference when you're leveled, your tool. End quote. Goggle eyes. Yeah? 3 out of 4 of your participants measured Earth flat in various different ways. There's my evidence. What's that, you want to deny your own measurements because I've used it as an evidentiary standard to prove Earth's measured flat? By you? Go ahead. I don't mind. No worries. Deny it. Deny your own measurements. Which is nice. Is it the rock? Is the rock more comfortable? Oh, you prefer the hard place of getting on your knees and acknowledging how flat you measured Earth? Get on your knees and acknowledge how flat those elevation angle measurements were that you took and called experiments, Duffy. Or deny them.
That the Earth is flat. If you've noticed that flat earthers essentially refuse to do
Stereotyping fallacy.
this.
What? Flat earthers refuse to say Earth is flat. Earth's flat, we measure it flat, you measure it flat. Toon measured it flat, McKeegan measured it flat. We all measure it flat. Distances are flat, flight levels are flat, sea levels are flat, Earth curve maths requires Earth be flat. It's all flat, Duffy. There's no denying it.
Nathan,
Your observation
Good.
did he say something about repeatable in the beginning? Because if the burden of proof is on us, I'm going to appeal to everybody that was in Antarctica. They measured Earth flat. So there is my proof. Okay?
Yeah.
is correct. When you ask a flat earther for evidence that the Earth is flat,
Sorry, what's that you say? You want my evidence that Earth's flat? Oh, no worries. I'll give you the measurements down in Antarctica. Down being a flat direction south that isn't capable of description with sphericity. Nevertheless, when we travel south a flat direction and measure how far we went in linear miles or kilometres, and we travel there on a plane that maintains straight and level flight, measured with respect to sea level, life and death black box data affirming these facts. When we get there, we'll measure elevation angles with respect to a plane of reference. And if it's not an angle anymore. So there you go. That's what I'm going to rely on. Every single thing you did when you travelled to Antarctica, I rely on all of that. That's what I rely on as my evidence.
They will undoubtedly revert to talking about the globe.
No, I reverted to talking about straight and level flight. That was presented to you personally by Brian, if memory serves me. Yeah. So you're lying, because that is not what happened. Specifically with you when Brian detailed black box data. If memory serves me, you even wanted to talk to him about it specifically. So you're a lying shitbag and the devil's waiting for you. Because that is not what you have inferred when you gave this stereotyping fallacy to your audience in this video. That's not what flat earthers have done. We've relied consistency on the flat earth elevation angle measurements that you've all made. Yeah? We've talked about the black box data that you'll be gathering up in the flights that you take to get to Antarctica and arrive having travelled straight and level. In level flight. Now, we've shown this data to our audiences. We've provided it many, many times. And when we talk about your gathered data, I don't need to present anything. I just wait for you to deny it. Hey, you want to deny the elevation angles are taken from a flat plane of reference for it to be an angle? Okay. So you haven't got any angles anymore then? Okay, well, that's the end of your argument. Oh, what, you want to keep those measurements of a flat Earth, but say they're not of Earth until after you've done your calculations, and then they're of a curved surface that wasn't measured. You measured it flat, but that wasn't the ground, right?
No, the problem is when we bring up their measurements that they took, they'll claim we deflected with measurements.
I don't care what they claim. I'm not the one making proactive videos about the final experiments, am I?
So they have not satisfied the burden of proof for their positive claim.
I don't have a claim. I don't care. I literally don't care. You've got a religious belief in being on a spinning water ball flying around the sun. That's your belief, your burden, your concern. I don't have any concerns about this, Duffy. What's that? Oh, well, I'm saying Earth's flat. No, you measure Earth flat, Duffy. Maybe you didn't hear me the first 120 times. You measure it flat, dickhead. That's not my burden to satisfy. You either accept your own friggin' measurements or you don't. I don't care. Don't accept your own measurements of a flat Earth, then.
That the Earth is flat. And they also go out of their way to avoid making positive claims in an attempt to escape the burden of proof.
I'll accept the burden. I accept the burden of proof. The burden is on me. I'll lay down the standard of evidence to satisfy my burden of proof that Earth is measured flat. I'm going to offer all of the measurements and journey to Antarctica as my evidence. There you go. I've taken up the burden. I'm going to fulfill my burden. I offer Will Duffy's measurements and McToon's measurements of elevation angle measurements to the sun for a 24-hour period to prove beyond all doubt that Earth has been and will always be measured flat. That's my standard, okay? I accept this burden.
And to avoid having to provide any evidence.
No, I just provided it. I provide Duffy's, McKeegan's and McToon's elevation angle measurements to the sun for a 24-hour period off a flat Earth. They are my standard. They're also your standard, unless you want to deny them now. I mean, that's entirely up to you. If you want to deny, you've got them in the bank. You've got your flat Earth measurements called experiments, which are not in the bank. Now, you can double those down and you can risk it all for the speedboat.
Despite their calculated effort at not making any positive claims,
I claim Duffy measured Earth flat with elevation angles in Antarctica. There you go, I've made a positive claim. Prove me wrong.
they still make quite a few of them.
What, like you measuring flat Earth, Toon measuring flat Earth, McKeegan measuring flat Earth, Jaron measuring flat Earth, and you having a CGI expert on the flat Earth side? I think those are all facts. Yeah, they're all facts.
One of the most repeated claims from flat earthers is that the Earth measures flat.
Yeah, elevation angle measurements to the sun for a 24-hour period. Should we define what an elevation angle measurement is so we're all clear, as it is absolutely the case that they did measure elevation angles. There's no denying what they measured. The altitude angle, sometimes referred to as solar elevation angle, describes how high the sun appears in the sky. The angle is measured between an imaginary line between the observer and the sun and the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. I'm pretty sure that's a fairly concise definition of an elevation angle measurement and its prerequisite requirement for, quote, the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. In this case, you, Duffy.
This is another positive claim made by them.
No, it was a cited definition. I'll give you a different one. Angle of elevation. From Angle of Elevation Formulas, Definitions and Examples. The angle of elevation is the angle between the horizontal line and the line of sight which is above the horizontal. It is formed when an observer looks upwards. Suppose you're standing at the terrace of a building and looking upwards at the sky or at the sun or moon. The angle thus formed between your height from the ground level and the line of sight formed is called the angle of elevation. So I'm pretty certain that by definition we're going to need either, quote, the horizontal plane the observer is standing on, or, quote, ground level for these measurements that I've just defined, and they are measurements you made, Duffy. Do you have another one? The altitude angle, sometimes referred to as solar elevation angle, describes how high the sun appears in the sky. The angle is measured between an imaginary line between the observer and the sun and the horizontal plane the observer is standing on.
And you can't listen to Flat Earth content very long before hearing them boldly state this claim that the Earth measures flat.
Right, no, I quoted sustainable by design. What about mathspace.co.uk, an educational tool used to teach children? Quote, an angle of elevation is the angle from the lower object to the higher one, while an angle of depression is the angle from the higher object to the lower one. Both angles are measured with respect to the horizontal plane of the reference object. That's 3. That's not me making stuff up or making a positive claim. It's me defining the measurements you made in Antarctica of elevation angles. What about, what's this? Tassadia. Altitude angle is the vertical angle between the projection of the sun's rays on the horizontal plane of Earth's surface. That's 4. So, Duffy, you're a charlatan, a scammer, a liar, a bullshitter. You're now projecting the idea that I've made a claim about measuring Earth flat. No, I've defined the angles that you measured in Antarctica as requiring a horizontal plane of Earth's surface.
Right. To prove the Earth is flat, you don't need to speculate what's beyond.
Why are you cutting to Dave? Oh, is it because he shills for this map that you've been burning the whole time? Yeah, we've been telling him for years to stop doing that. All Dave did was broadcast to a greater audience than my own that they weren't watching me. That's what Dave did. He's a scumbag also, just like you. He also gives you the advantage of propping up this flat Earth model map in the background of an app that Dave charges for. Yeah, like I say, we've pointed out to this scammer, charlatan, grifter, con man Dave Weiss not to do that for many years. Because we didn't want to be strawmanned by assholes who lie about Earth being measured flat with elevation angles when they're defined as such. Yeah, so that you wouldn't just hold up this straw man immediately afterwards like you are doing.
60 degrees south, you don't need to speculate.
Yeah, you don't, because south is a flat Earth only direction, Dave. Let's see if Dave points that out.
What the sky is made out of.
Sorry, south is a flat Earth direction. Dave didn't point it out. He subverted that fact of a flat Earth prerequisite with what we don't need to do with the sky. Dave's a useless twat. If you are subscribed to Dave the Useless Twat, unsubscribe from him immediately. He's not helping. He's hindering you if you're a flat earther trying to promote the idea because Dave shills for garbage that's proved to be wrong. And when it comes to flat Earth proving prerequisites like south, Dave says you don't have to look at the sky rather than pointing out the south can only exist on a flat Earth.
You just need to measure the Earth. And
yeah, with elevation angles that I just defined 4 times.
The Earth measures flat.
So, well, why didn't Dave give a measurement then? Me, I defined 4 flat Earth prerequisites of an Earth surface that is flat and planar for an angle to be measured from it, like done in the example given by Duffy. Saying Earth's measured flat and then actually not following it up with an actual measurement is useless.
I don't know what this thing was in Antarctica. I don't know. I have no idea. But all I know is the Earth is measured flat.
We'll shove it right in your faces. It's flat. It measures flat. It photographs flat. It is flat.
The Earth measures flat. Literally.
Yes, everywhere you measure on this Earth is going to be flat.
Okay, so yeah, the Earth is measured flat.
Earth looks flat, tests flat, and measures flat.
Everything's measured flat.
The Earth is measured flat.
The Earth measures flat.
The surface of the Earth, again, measures flat.
The Earth is measured flat.
No matter what it is, the Earth still measures flat.
As I said, this is one of the most repeated claims by flat earthers.
Well,
where were we? How come you didn't use any
didn't use me.
of
Meanwhile,
the stuff we talk about here?
Yeah,
Funny.
he did. He used me. Meanwhile, you measure Earth flat, Duffy. My examples were specific. Yeah, it got my name screamed into the Antarctic snow now, didn't it? Notice you didn't use that example. Why didn't you use the example down in Antarctica? Maybe you'd like to ask yourself that if you're an audience member watching Duffy's videos. Why didn't he use the example that was screamed into the Antarctic snow? He tried to deflect with measurements, end quote. Did you not want to use that one? I mean, it was literally screamed about in Antarctica. You got Antarctica behind you, but you don't want to use the only example that happened there. Why not? Do I scare you? Yeah, with your own very own measurements of a flat Earth. Why wouldn't you use that one, Duffy?
So who has the burden of proof here?
Who cares? You measured Earth flat down there. Who cares who the burden is? You measured it flat.
If you make any positive claims, you have the burden of proof.
Despite having heard this Earth measures flat claim myself countless times, something is glaringly missing.
Well, the measurement. Like, you can't just say the surface measures curved and then just leave it at that. You actually need to provide a curved surface measurement. So, for example, if I put up on screen the curved surface measurement... Oh, no, it's got a surface level in it. Yeah? So, when I say Earth's measured flat, I give you this, Duffy. Your Earth curve maths. Do you see this? It says surface level. It's measured for height. 1.22 times the square root of the observer's measured height of surface level. It's right there in your own maths. Now, what this is a hostile witness, yeah? Hostile evidence. Because when I say Earth's measured flat, I point you to your use of surface level measurement, Duffy. So I ask you, Duffy, do you deny the surface level you must measure to infer a horizon below the surface level called Earth curve? Are you denying this measurement, Duffy? You seem to be putting the onus on me, like I've got a burden. Oh, really? Well, my burden is your burden, it would seem, Duffy. Because here we are with your inference that Earth's a sphere, and right there in the maths, we've got to measure Earth flat. There it is, surface level. Unless you want to deny it. Did you want to deny the base principle of Earth curve geometry and say, nah, I'm not going to measure surface level. I don't want to. I don't want to measure Earth flat for this. Nah. Oh, okay. We'll just take this off screen then, shall we, Duffy? Yeah, you don't want to acknowledge and accept that we measure Earth flat. We. Yeah, you and me, Duffy, right? We. I'm going to pretend No, I'm just going to say, I believe in a globe. I stand shoulder to shoulder as a globe believer. For this example, with Duffy here. I'm going to be a globe believer with you, Duffy. You've won. You've made me a globe believer. Now, as a globe believer, I'm on your side. Aren't I generous? Just like Jaren. Let's pretend I'm just like Jaren. I've moved over to the ball too, Duffy. You've won. You converted me. Now I'm back on the ball. I just need to confirm something with you because I'm a bit confused. Why are we measuring surface level flat for our height above it? Can you just clarify? It's the first thing. I'm back on the ball. Duffy's won. I'm a fully paid up, converted globe believing wanker now. Okay. You can all take it as read. Nathan Oakley believes we're on a ball. He just needs to clarify something. It's his first question as a newly fledged globe-believing wanker. I just need to know this. And Duffy's here to help me, aren't you, Duffy? It's what you wanted. You wanted me back on the ball. I'm back on the ball with you, Duffy. I'm back on the ball. I just need my guru, Duffy, to explain this surface level that we'll be measuring flat for our height above it. Can you do that for me, Duffy? I'm a new globe believer, and as a new globe believer, like Ranty or Jaren, I expect you on your fucking knees, acknowledging just how flat we'll be measuring Earth flat, to believe in this ball that we've got. It's below surface level horizon, right? Below the surface level that we'll measure for our height. Can you explain this to me, Duffy? Because I want to be on a ball with you. This is what it was all about, right? Getting me back on the ball. You played me. You played a quote. And now I'm saying you've won. Just a little niggly little thing that we need to deal with now. I'm back on the ball with you. Yeah? Let Duffy know. You won. Nathan said he's back on the ball. He just needed a little bit of clarity about the surface level that we'll have to measure when we believe that we're on a ball, Duffy. Yeah, this surface level. Is it not level? Is this a bending level? How do we get our height above it if it's bending? Is the eye level still parallel with it if the surface level bends? I'm just a bit confused. Maybe this charlatan can explain it to me as a new globe believer. Yeah? So I just need to understand why we're measuring Earth flat as a globe believer, Duffy. Can you do that for me? I'm sure there's people in your comments letting you know at Nathan Oakley sent me. To find out why we measure Earth flat in Earth curve maths, Duffy. Yeah? You're going to help me out, aren't you, mate? You're a good stand-up guy. And you're going to help out the newest globe believer on the block. Nathan Oakley just wants to know, as a globe believer, a fellow globe believer, you and me, we're buddies, Duffy. Buddies. Yeah? You're my pal, Duffy. And as a pal, I just need to know why we measure surface level. Why would that be? Why am I getting 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height of a flat Earth? I'm a bit confused. Maybe Duffy can help us all out. You can help us all out. We can all be globe believers together. And when we understand the flat Earth measurement that we make, it will help us in our globe belief, Duffy. You'll be helping everyone believe more. We can believe this better if you understand the measurement off surface level, Duffy. So you break it down for me, Duffy, because you seem to be implying that I'm just some flat earther who's got excuses. No! Your commenters are telling you, right? Nathan's a globe believer now. He just needs explaining why we measure Earth flat. Just a little bit of surface level, right?
What would any rational person expect to accompany a claim that the Earth measures flat?
No, I want to know why when we measure a ball, do we need our height off a surface level? Why do we need a parallel eye level with surface level? On a ball, Duffy. I'm a ball believer now. I'm not one of those crazy numpty flat earthers asking why we measure Earth flat. No, I'm a newly fledged ball believer. I saw you go down to Antarctica. I mean, I mentioned to one of the participants that you were measuring Earth flat with elevation angles, and he didn't answer me, Duffy. Yeah? Now, I don't want to seem disingenuous. I'm a new globe believer. I wanted to be converted by McToon. I asked him, why are you measuring Earth flat for the 100th time? And he said, quote. He tried to deflect with measurements. I mean, that didn't help me get to the ball, but you, Duffy, you've done it. You've succeeded. You've got me back on the ball. We just need to know what this is all about, this parallel eye level and surface level malarkey, this measuring our height off surface level. Measuring, Duffy. Measuring. It just seems like the globe belief. I mean, I want it. I really do want it to work off of the surface level measurement. You can explain it to me, Duffy. I'm sure you're that good a guy.
That's right. Measurements.
Trim all that out, Nathan.
You know.
Say again?
They're going to trim all of that out, how you are now a ball earther. Have fun.
I couldn't give two shits.
No, you're
Neil.
so good. You're so good, though. That was excellent. Like how the fake flat earthers come into some of the, like, here sometimes it's like, oh no, you know, I'm a flat earther. I really just want to know, like, what these globe maps are about. Like,
Don't say it. Don't say it.
You did it.
Don't say it. Don't say it. I'm just here to learn, Duffy. That's all I'm here for. I'm just here to learn about the surface level we measure. That's all I need. I just need to learn. That's what I'm here for.
Eli's right, though. You sound perfect.
I'm just here to learn about the surface level we'll measure for the ball. I'm just here to learn. And you're all going to help me out, right? I'm the newest ball believer. McToon! It's only the 101st time. McToon, I just need to understand why we're measuring Earth flat with your elevation angle measurements in your 10K challenge in Antarctica. I'm the newest ball believer. Can you tell me why we measure Earth flat with your elevation angle measurements? It's only the 101st time. The first 100 times, I was a flat earther then. Now I'm a ball believer, and I just need to know, from one ball believer just trying to learn, from McToon, my new buddy. Can you tell me why we measure Earth flat with your elevation angle measurements in your 10K challenge in Antarctica, please, McToon? One ball believer to another, I'm just trying to learn. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, thanks, Duffy. You're my new guru. I can't wait to find out. Anybody else excited about finding out why we measure surface level flat? I'm truly excited.
No evidence to back their claim.
My claim? Yeah, those stupid flat earthers. What do they know about measuring elevation angle measurements to the sun for 24 hours? We ballers, we know how to measure Earth flat. Those flatties don't know how to measure Earth flat. We know how to measure Earth flat. Us ballers with our elevation angles to the sun. Our globe flat Earth measurements that we measure with elevation angles. That's us. Us together. You, me and McToon all measuring Earth flat. Us ballers.
But flat earthers never seem to give any flat earth measurements.
No, the scumbags, they're constantly stealing the globe's flat earth measurements, aren't they? Totally outrageous, I agree with you, Duffy. What a friggin' outrage. These flat earthers constantly fail to provide any measurements. All they ever do is provide the flat earth measurements that the globers use. It's an outrage. We've got to stop them. I think we should come up with a catchphrase like, don't use our stuff. Tell those flat earthers, don't use our flat earth measurements to prove Earth's flat. Get your own flat earth measurements. Stop using the globe's flat earth measurements. Don't use the globe's surface level to prove Earth's flat. We use the flat surface level to prove Earth's a globe. How dare you flat earthers use our flat earth elevation angle measurements in Antarctica? Go and get your own flat earth elevation angle measurements. Don't use our globe earth flat earth elevation angle measurements. We'll be using the globe earth flat earth elevation angle measurements to prove we're on a globe after we measure Earth flat. But we'll be measuring it flat. Us globers, not you flat earthers.
They just make the claim that the Earth measures flat and leave it at that.
Yeah, they don't go and get the measurements from Antarctica to the sun for 24 hours like us globe believers go out and get the flat earth measurements. We're actually out on boots on the ground getting these bloody flat earth measurements as globe believers. We're doing it. We're actually making the flat earth measurements as globe believers. What have you flat earthers ever done? Have you ever measured the flat earth like I have to prove a globe with it? No, you have not. You've never measured Earth flat to go ahead and prove a flat globe with it. Have you? I have. I measure flat Earth to prove a globe all the time, because I'm the newest flat Earth globe-believing guy. Make no mistake.
And I'm not the only one who has noticed this.
When flat earthers say that they think that the Earth is flat and they're like,
where are the guns, Nathan? Where are the guns? Yeah, I asked you 100 times though, didn't I, Toon? Why are you using flat Earth elevation angle measurements in your 10k challenge? But now I'm asking you for the 101st time. This time you're my buddy, right? We're friends this time. Why are we measuring Earth flat with elevation angle measurements in 10k challenges on a ball? Can you make this make sense for me? I'm a new ball believer. I'm also asking for a load of friends that are also ball believers. They all need to know. Just asking for a friend.
Like, they say things like, Earth is measured flat.
Yeah, like in your 10k challenge, Toon. As a ball believer, I fully respect and understand and acknowledge your flat Earth measurement that you made as a ball believer. I think it was excellent. Shoulder to shoulder, I'm with you all the way. Your 10k challenge flat Earth measurements are epic. Same with the ones that you made in Antarctica. I, as a ball believer, fully accept and understand and appreciate how Earth must be measured flat to calculate a ball with it. Like the flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the sun in Antarctica that you took and waved in Brian's face. I mean, we just say that. I say we. It's not me anymore. I'm a ball believer now, Toon. Like you. Right? I just need to figure out why we're measuring Earth flat as a ball believer this time. When I asked you as a flatty, I appreciate that you just wanted to point out that I'm deflecting with measurements as a flatty. Well, now I'm a ball believer. Can you explain it to me now as a ball believer why we measure Earth flat with elevation angles?
You ask them, can you provide the measurements? They never can.
No, we keep getting them from you, don't we, Toon? It's an outrage we keep getting those flat Earth measurements from you. Yeah, and I'm with you 100% as a baller now. Stop getting flat Earth measurements from ballers. Yeah? Just because Toon has actually gone and made the effort to go and get these bloody measurements of a flat Earth doesn't mean you can use them, flatties. Stop using globe believers' flat Earth measurements. It's an outrage.
But, you know, they like to say it's measured flat, but when you ask for these measurements, you never get any.
Yeah, bloody outrage. We just keep using yours. How dare we? We just keep going to the globe maths. We just keep pointing out surface level in the globe maths, don't we? This isn't flat earthers maths. Do you use the flat earth measurement that's in it? Lazy. The lazy flat earthers keep using the globe believers' flat earth measurements, and it's not fair.
Monkey Cat Pat Pat says, no matter what you do, it's always measured flat. Yeah, somehow, but they never produce these measurements.
No, you do. Yeah. Thanks.
Because no person listens to Earth is measured flat and then thinks, oh, okay. Right? That's not it.
Nah. I mean, as a globe believer, I'd take them to the surface level that I'm asking about as a new globe believer, right? Why do we need this? Surface level, right? Why does it have to be parallel with eye level? Why do we have to measure our height off the surface level? Why do we take dip angle measurements from the parallel eye level to infer that there's a horizon below surface level? All of this, to me, just suggests that we're measuring one thing and one thing only. Surface level. Like the surface level in McToon's elevation angles in his 10k challenge, or the ones he measured in Antarctica. The bloody lazy flat earthers just keep stealing the surface level that globers use. Outrageous.
That's not the end of it. Right? That's the claim. Next, show the measurements.
Our Earth is not a planet. It says Earth is measured flat as your heart is. Nathan Oakley you fear most, don't you? You lie, you fear Nathan Oakley. This seems like a Poe. Are you a Poe? So the
That wasn't a no. That wasn't a denial. Do you fear Nathan Oakley? Somebody asked me if I fear McToon.
Do you fear McToon?
No.
Whenever a flat Earth is you know, they like to say this. Whenever they say that, the next thing is, okay, let's see the.
You're scared of me, aren't you, Toon? You fear me. Good.
Petrified.
Measurements. Right? Just saying things.
No, I'm not saying you measure Earth flat 100 times, am I? I'm not just saying it. Yeah, people don't get away with just saying something that's incorrect 100 times to an opponent and then laughing in their face. Not just saying anything. Pointing out how you measure Earth flat too. That's why you're scared of me. Because I make a mockery of your entire existence, don't I?
Is not anything. You actually have to do the work. You have to provide the measurements. So
the Earth measures flat. Can we get back to that?
Oh, sure.
Did you ever
can you send the measurements, please?
I can't go give you measurements for you, partner. You got to do that yourself.
Yeah, you specifically made the claim that the Earth measures flat. Now you have the burden of evidence to support that claim.
See, Toon was right. Lazy flat earthers. He just told Toon he had to go and measure Earth flat. I mean, I now see it. Now I'm a globe believer. I can completely see how frustrating that would be. You're asking that flat earther, go and get some flat earth measurements. And what he did was basically what I used to do. Turn around and say, you measure Earth flat, Toon. I'll use yours. Outrageous. We've got to stop this. You and me, Toon, together, we're going to stomp this out. Stop using our flat Earth measurements. We want those to prove a globe. We're going to stamp it out together, Toon, you and I.
Go ahead.
No, that's not correct. You have the burden of...
I mean, you didn't present any measurements, so I...
Yeah, Toon presented flat Earth measurements, not you. Yeah? You go and get some. Toon did. Toon went and got the flat Earth measurements. He's put the legwork in. Stop stealing Toon's flat Earth measurements to prove Earth's flat. Outrageous.
What are we supposed to do with your non-measurement?
Exactly. You can't do anything with those non-measurements. Yeah? And as for using Toon's flat Earth measurements, that's just bloody lazy.
That's a lot when the Earth is measured flat, which is irrelevant. But you keep asking for measurements.
You say the Earth is flat, but don't have measurements of it.
You want complete measurements when it's being measured flat.
So you say, but don't have any measurements.
And it's all flat, right? It's all measured flat, or whatever you want to call it.
That's your claim. So now it's on you to present the measurements.
All right, so you're just gonna say nuh-uh. All right.
Shout out to Sensual Ghost, who's gifted 5 memberships. Right, obviously this is cherry picked, but even with it being cherry picked, the people who are saying Earth's measured flat to Toon, why haven't you got any standard? I'll click out a character for a second. Right, as a legitimate flat earther, not being sarcastic, why aren't you saying to Toon with your elevation angle measurements when he's saying, well, what have you got for your measurements? You need to present something. Now, I knew when I said Earth is measured flat that it's just catchy, but it's empty and hollow unless you've got something to substantiate it with. Now, there's a reason they've been able to cherry pick this many examples of people like Mark saying Earth's measured flat, Dave saying Earth's measured flat, random Discord participants saying Earth's measured flat, and not a single example immediately following it. Now, don't get me wrong. That's what they've gone out and looked for. But if you're the one saying it, Dave, Mark, random Discord participant, you need to follow it up immediately with an example of Earth being measured flat. Now, if you're listening and going, oh, well, I haven't got one, and I don't understand how elevation angles are measured, no worries. Miles. Distance measurements are all linear, always, without exception. So just say miles. If you say Earth is measured flat and they go, how? Prove it. Give me a measurement. Say miles. One word. That's it. Done.
All right, next.
No, hold on. That's not a nuh-uh. That's...
Go ahead.
I literally just came from 24/7 just to test my mic out, and got into a conversation where I did do that immediately. I literally brought up example of landing and taking off in an airplane to reach cruising altitude level, parallel with sea level. And that's really all. I don't understand if you are saying that or giving real examples, if you're posting what you're posting in the chat, why they're not more pressed. He should not be able to find this many examples of people just saying it and not giving anything to follow.
Exactly.
Unless he's
Agreed.
clipping it, which is worse. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, well put. That's exactly what I was driving at. Perfectly well phrased, Eli.
It's a normal thing. That's a normal thing that is part of a debate, that you make a claim and then you have the burden of evidence. Now you have the burden of proof to show the measurements.
Yeah. You tell him, buddy, mate, pal. You tell him. Yeah? Stupid flat earthers. Yeah, they don't know how much we globe believers have sweated to measure Earth flat. Yeah? We've worked really hard as globe believers to gather these flat Earth measurements and data. And what have you got, you flat idiots? Nothing. You haven't measured Earth flat like we have.
Hold on.
Bring forth
you
the
go on
measurement.
hit play. Hold on. It's funny to me. I know it's all cherry picked and they got what they wanted. But if anybody is listening, they know exactly where this not even argument, fact comes from. Flat Earth debate. I don't hear one person from Flat Earth debate being questioned by Toon or Duffy or any of them. Come here and ask us for the measurements. We'll give them to you.
I don't care. They don't have to come here. I don't want to impose that upon them. I'm not proactively contacting them. I'm not phoning them up from Antarctica. They're contacting us, right? No, yeah, the door's open if you want to come in. But I'm no pressure whatsoever. I don't care. You stay on a ball. I don't care. Yeah, I'm on a ball with you, measuring a flat Earth right alongside you. Yeah. With that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you liked, commented, shared, subscribed, gifted out memberships, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.